All right, Barons of the March, Counts of the East, Grandees of the South. Let's begin. I'm going to first go with the new democracy update. Your first duty to meet with the Council of Nobles. Introduce yourself to the Counts of the East. Count Ravendare. In honor to finally make your acquaintance, may you escape the doom that befell your predecessor. Grandee the Seedell. I trust you will conduct yourself with honor and faith. And Baron Jose Boda. Under your leadership, we'll whip this kingdom into shape. The council hall immediately fills with rabble. Rabble, rabble, rabble. You sigh and sit back in wonder of your path to victory. How do you hope the kingdom will remember you? So we have done all of these already. Which one's most appealing to me? Which one do I feel I'm most likely to actually be able to do? I think Peacekeeper's a good one to aim for. Try to keep our stability up. An admirable aim. Improve the kingdom's stability as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Sounds good. All right. Coronation time. What must I do? The council will decide what happens with the coronation, of course. Let's have them do that very thing. What kind of coronation should be held for the new king? Host a lavish parade. Force the commoners to swear a blood oath. Throw the king into the river. Or troops shall bear the king through the streets atop a shield. That's a new one. My vote's throw the king in the river, personally. It's always a good way to start things off. Wouldn't mind throwing a lavish parade, too. Jugglers juggling fountains of wine. Why not both, right? That'd be impressive. Sweet. It is decided the king will be thrown in the river. A very traditional ceremony dating back to Queen Alma the Wise. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to the Treadwater River, hurling you in the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the bank soaking wet, the chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination, or are some of the nobles stifling giggles? Do I see Baer lulls among the nobles? Dmitri of the Rezi dynasty, well-known political fixer, leans delicately on a podium, speaking in a melodious voice. My fellow counts, in ancient times, the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while the false king Baer wears the crown. What scheme should the counts pursue to overthrow the new king and place their claimant Dmitri on the throne? Open Counts of the East only, purple. What do you think you should do? You're either looking to raise authority, lower stability, or lower your own defiance. Any votes for subterfuge I'll take as a personal offense, by the way. Smoky Bandit and the Rezi. I got my eyes on you. Oh, split decision. Who's got the deciding vote? Who's gonna enact their ultimate authority over the entirety of the rest of the counts? I think that actually might be all of the counts. We'll see what the game decides, I guess. Possession it is, lowering their own defiance, so be it. The counts plan to summon a demon to possess the king. Oh! Putting him totally under their control. First, they must lull the king into a false sense of security. The counts must lower their defiance to 4 or less in 2 seasons. All right, so my aim then is just to piss off the counts at every possible opportunity. I could do that. Carmen of the Shame the Merchant lineage, legendary southern prodigy, stands bathed in sunshine. A false pretender occupies the throne, while my claim is ignored. Grandees of the South, this is a stain on our honor. We must not allow it to go unanswered. Vote open to yellow team. Grandees of the South only. What scheme should they pursue to overthrow the king and place Carmen on the throne? Are you looking to raise your own treasury in an uprising? Raise your own farming and fervor, or excommunication to lower stability? Can only open to the grandees of the South this time. Raising your own treasury, that's an uncommon one. I feel like we haven't seen that before. Looks like they're aiming for it. All right, then. They want to get rich. The grandees plan to incite a peasant uprising to overthrow the king before swooping in to steal the throne for themselves. To advance their scheme, the grandees must raise the treasury to 2,000 or more in 2 seasons. Oh, okay, so it's not their personal wealth. They're trying to increase the treasury of the kingdom, which I believe we have actually seen before. Leopold of the Ponjugular bloodline, rigged, stands before a blazing hearth, roaring with our arms outstretched. When have the barons backed down from a fight? Never!
A renewal. Welcome back.
I know you'll do what it takes to put the rightful claimant Leopold on the throne. Barons of the March. What scheme should you pursue? Also get some bear hugs up, please, while we're doing it for Entropy. Thank you for the Prime. Welcome on back and appreciate the bear hugs and the resubscription. 28 months on the pile. Open only to the barons here. The Doppelganger. Lowering your own defiance, erase stability with intimidation or gunpowder. The aim to lower authority. Looks like that's the way they're going. The Republic of Kurth has this substance called gunpowder. With enough of that, the barons could take over the kingdom. Of course, a sensible king would never allow one region to hoard such a thing. To do so secretly, the barons must ensure their trading partners don't fear the king's wrath. They must lower authority to 4 or less in 2 seasons. Pretty straightforward here, all right. So as far as my objectives go, I'm looking to raise my authority in order to prevent the Baron's scheme. I'm looking to lower the treasury, working against the grandees, and then trying to increase the defiance of the counts. So be it. Ooh, this is always an interesting one. If nobles vote for the monarch's golden choice, they gain plus 500 personal wealth. I don't want to increase authority, right? No, I do. I want to increase authority. The monarch's iron choice. Their preferred voting option. It's not a bad idea. I think I'll go for that. Yeah, if you'd like to join us, there's the instructions right there. Exclamation point join, followed by your pronouns, and it'll throw you into one of these 3 teams. Time to select our honor guard. One day you're walking through the palace gardens when you're confronted by an unusual sight. One of your palace watch is standing guard, but instead of a pike, he's holding a mop. What the seven hells is that? An improvised polearm? Last week, a grubby little urchin kicked me in the shins and stole me proper pike. I grabbed the first replacement I could find. Get a new pike! I tried, but the quartermaster was too drunk. I can only apologize, Your Majesty. The Palace Watch have been more incompetent than usual lately. It's obvious you need a proper honor guard to protect you, but first, how can we improve the watch? What could be done to improve the bumbling Palace Watch? Spend a fortune on fancy new equipment? Invite marcher soldiers to provide training? Enforce harsher discipline? Or there's no need to do anything. I would certainly love A. I don't know how likely it's going to be that the folks want to vote for that, though. Well, actually, of course, the counts and the grandees are both looking for the barons to fail their schemes, so that would be a good way to do it. Although the grandees aren't going to necessarily be super inclined to vote for a decrease in the treasury, are they? I gotta keep my discipline up, too. Or, sorry, my stability, I mean to say. I think I need to veto C. Yeah, that seems right. All right, let's see how that goes. Vote away. Vote for either A, B, or D. This one open to all nobles. Oh, yeah, let's go, counts. I like it. There's definitely no need to do anything, barons. How dare you? Oh, we're so close. Come on now. Help out your buddy Baer. There we go. Spend a fortune on some fancy new equipment. Hell yeah. Soon your watcher outfitted in gleaming new armor, wielding a pike in each hand to fend off urchins. They're not actually more competent, but they look impressive. If one thing's clear from this mess, it's that you need an honor guard who can actually keep you safe. Not like these kittens. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalty will be divided between you and their region. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. They'd be loyal to coin above all. That actually sounds like a really good idea this time. A band of fearsome fighters from the Tatterlands called the Battle-Bitten Brethren. They specialize in bodyguard work, but they're costly. And hiring foreigners will betray a lack of confidence in our kingdom's fighters. That's a great choice. Let's hire some dudes. Drop the treasury again. That does lower authority. Ah, yeah, that's not great. Maybe we should go with the battle nuns. Pick battle nuns, the count's defiance will increase. Yeah. I'm sure we can spend treasury money later. Do it, you won't? I won't. You're right. I'm going to pick the battle nuns. I'll make the arrangements at once. The battle nuns arrive in the palace a few weeks later. They nod to you silently, their solemn steel masks betraying nothing before filing into formation behind your throne. They do look pretty great, yeah. Baron Addo Edom. Your Majesty, a number of barons have gone missing in the east. They traveled to Count Syntax Eater's castle to negotiate a trade agreement, but they should have returned weeks ago. The missing barons never even made it to my lands. They most likely got lost. The east is a dangerous place. Who's gone missing? Anyone I care about? 3 barons are missing. Baron Ace Sorcerer, Baron Orion, and Baron Gira Link. Where could they have gone? Just north of my estate lies the Moldpatter Forest. To the west, the Twilight Lakeland. And to the south, Ilarian's Haunt. I like to live remotely. Does wonders for the soul. I'm certain this is some kind of ploy by Count Syntax Eater. In a few months' time, he'll quietly offer us a ransom. Drakov's bones, don't be so foolish. We'll find them. We just have to decide where to focus our efforts. Where should Count Syntax Eater look for the missing barons? Nowhere. Count Syntax Eater will instead be executed for abducting them. That's my choice. That's how I'm feeling, dude. Let's just skip right to the end here. Why waste time? Vote either A, B, C, or D. The Moldpatter Forest, the Twilight Lakeland, or Larian's Haunt. Hey, Nexus. Well, grab your dookie. It's about to get spooky. We're heading to Moldpatter Forest. 100 trackers and a legion of sniffer dogs are sent into the Moldpatter Forest to search for Gira Link and the other barons. But they find nothing, save for a friendly group of Trollden folk camping out in the heart of the forest. I assure you they have not seen a human soul in years. It's a wash, Your Grace. Gira Link and the other barons are nowhere to be found. The king might not see through you, Count Syntax Eater, but I do. Gira Link has died, along with Ace Sorcerer and Orion 933, their offspring, joining the council. Sheesh, dude. That's a brutal start. Hey, Gizmo. Your Highness, terrible news from the east. The bees have vanished. All the bees? All of them across the east. We counts rely on the bees for our honey trade. But worse, in the east, bees are bringers of good fortune. We look after them, and they look after us. It's a grim omen indeed if they've deserted us. The peasants are scared that we've offended the bees somehow. We must track them down. How should the council help track down the mysteriously missing bees? Ask the peasants if they noticed anything wrong. That certainly seems valuable. Bees come and go. Let nature take its course. Well, I know where my heart lies. I made it pretty clear, in fact. The bees do seem to show up a lot, yeah. I think that's likely because it feels as though there's a weight placed on the events that are able to trigger further events that are related to the first one, which is, I'm pretty sure, the case here. So, that makes sense. Ask the peasants if they noticed anything wrong. What did the peasants know? Oh, well, I suppose it's better than nothing. With the nobles scoff at the king lowering himself to listen to the peasantry, the peasants themselves are happy to have a voice for a change. You hope to find something useful soon. My monarch's vote actually was the deciding vote on that, I just realized, right? That might be the first time that's ever happened. Ooh, auction time. Nobles use their personal wealth to bid on buildings. So if you'd like to fund a building, all you gotta do is type !fund, then the building corresponding to the letter, and the amount that you would like to fund. And you can fund any amount. Everybody starts with 1,000 personal wealth. You can contribute any amount you like to any of these buildings. You can contribute to Building A, the Grand Bazaar, to increase the Baron's trade. You can decrease authority with Building B, the theater. Decrease the Count's farming with the Deer Park, Building C. Building D, the prison, will decrease overall stability. Building E, the library, will increase overall stability. And Building F, the stadium, will decrease the Grandee's military. Again, !fund, and the corresponding letter for the building you wish to fund, and then the amount you wish to fund it. A lot of folks pinching their purses today. I'm not too surprised by that. Hesitant to contribute too much early on. We will be lowering the authority again via the theater. Of course, the Baron's in strong pursuit of that, and we'll also increase the Baron's trade via the Grand Bazaar. So be it. Finding a spouse. In the twisty passages of your castle, you can avoid your advisors, but not your mommy. Is it really that urgent to find a spouse? I'll find anything. You get me whatever you want. See what you come up with. Ah, there's the bees again. An eastern peasant has word of the Count's bees, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I did spot a big old swarm of bees going over toward the march. Baron Canbin stamps in, their face swollen and covered with stings. Those damn Counts! I bet they sent those bees of theirs just to trouble us. Aren't you enjoying the honey? It's not how beekeeping works, Your Majesty. These bees aren't making honey. They're flying around and stinging my common folk. It's terrible. By the night, those bees must be destroyed. No one dares to go outside. Our markets are ruined. Blood and stars. Those bees are all our livelihood. If they're killed, they'll bring bad luck to all of us. You should have taken better care of them, shouldn't you? What should be done with the escaped bees? Get the church to help heal the peasants. What? Focus on luring the bees back to the east. Or destroy the bees in the march. Well, I certainly do not want the Counts to benefit here. And in order to increase their defiance, we would destroy them, of course. Makes sense to do that. Force either the destruction, or you can maybe roll the dice with the church this time around. Not very befitting of a bear to be such a bee hater, I recognize that. Also not at all surprised to see the grand majority of folks opting for the chance. It's always fun to roll the dice. Get the church to help heal the peasants. Baron Canman looks pleased and bows, hurrying away to summon some priests. Not every priest is happy about the risk of stinging, but enough attend to the peasants to get them in better shape for work. Soon the markets have returned to normal. Hey, we did it. That was easy enough. Cool. Your Majesty, I had a priest divine Baron Giralink's location. In a graveyard? And he's told me that they and the other missing barons are being held prisoner in the east. Count Syntax Eater lied to us. He had a whole host of prisoners locked up in his dungeon, victims of some horrible experiment. What preposterous lie is this? Did the stars tell you I was a kidnapper? Please, Council, you can't take this fool seriously. Should Count Syntax Eater be investigated for supposedly kidnapping a group of barons in the east? Yes. Yes, he should. As a compromise, have the counts investigated themselves? No, I don't think we'll be doing that. I think we'll be doing this. Investigate the count at once. Absolutely. Oh, well, wait a second there, though, Baer. But you put the Monarch's Iron Choice on. That's going to increase the authority, and I'm a Baron. I don't want that. Ah, too late, you fool. You sucker. You simple sap. I gotcha. Got him. Your spymaster immediately sends agents to infiltrate the east and report back. Count Syntax Eater is none other than a blood-sucking vampire who keeps people as cattle to feed on, including the missing barons. Holy shit. Worse still, when we tried to arrest him, he transformed into a bat and flew away. I'm afraid Baron Giralink is long dead as well. I mean, we kind of already knew that. We shall have to send inquisitors into the east. There might be more of them. That would increase the Count's defiance, I assume. The Counts shall all be punished for failings to stop this travesty. Yeah, that sounds better. Let's do that. But, Your Grace, we had no idea. Honestly, that's a great point, but it arrived a little too late. Keep a better eye on your friends. I'm sure there were signs. You don't ever see Count Syntax Eater again. Perhaps it's better that way. Syntax Eater has died, replaced by their offspring. Season complete. I was unable to fend off any of their goals, unfortunately. Hidden in a labyrinth beneath an eastern castle, the pair of counts meet to speak of their schemes against the king. Count Kakao. The Chancellor sent me a fruit basket last week to thank us for our efforts in helping the crown. It's working! Our reputation is secure. Our problem now is the Archbishop. His beady little eyes will be focused on us if we're not careful. You must evade him at all costs. The counts must lower their faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. That is going to be a very difficult metric to affect. B-Wiz, very good. Amid dark and foreboding forests, a small, squat castle stands watch over the Marcher border. There, at the end of the kingdom, a plot is hatching. Look here, our first shipment from Kurth, says Baron Travis. Baron Madman, incredible, may I see inside? Oh, careful with that torch, you fool, you'll blow us to smithereens. So this is the fabled black powder. Incredibly powerful, but we'll need much, much more to put you on the throne. They must raise their trade to 5 or more. Ah! I didn't know I was helping them. Across the kingdom, discontent with the king is rising. Everyone knew he was better off, but until now, it hadn't occurred to most people just how much better off. Looks like I should have spent that money. Now the peasants are asking all sorts of troublesome questions about their benevolent overlord, and as everyone knows, once a question has been asked, it can't be unasked. Somewhere in the vast southern hills is a forgotten pilgrimage site. Once it housed a saint's bones. Now it plays host to a secret night meeting of grandees. Grandee Lich Queen Rising. The peasants are getting rowdy, and it's all thanks to us. Now that they know how much wealth the king's hiding, they're itching to get rid of him. Grandee Nahi?
Careful we don't get them too riled up, mind you, or they'll start asking questions about our wealth as well.
Verily, now it's time to incite some real chaos. Show them that King Baer is not only greedy, he's utterly incompetent, too. Grandies must lower stability to 4 or less in 4 seasons. Sorry, Grandies. Wah, wah. Let's tax them. They don't need that money. Also, I think the barons are a little too wealthy right now. I'm going to go ahead and grab some of that, too. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Thanks for the cash. Dealing with the swarm. Troublesome holiday makers. We'll check our eligible options first. I found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Let's see the eligible candidates. This is Lorelei, the eldest daughter of the Eastern Picaros dynasty. She's a good-looking one, eh? Not a bad word is said about her. Everyone likes her. She bought a controlling interest in a silver mine in the east and made a killing. She's left a trail of broken hearts in her wake. From the south, Tristano, the eldest son of the Heck Darn It lineage. That's a fine lineage. He's reputed to have an ego the size of the sun, but there's nothing wrong with confidence, right? Like many in the south, he claims to put his faith in the ninth god above all worldly concerns. He's tried his hand at a number of ventures, though they all seem to end in disaster. And finally, we have the March's offering. Bastion, scion of the prestigious manly maiden bloodline. A timid fellow, not the kind that does well in the march, bless him. Perhaps the palace will suit him better. Unlike most barons, he's got no patience for hunting. Prefers to spend his time in an armchair with a good book. He tried to write a memoir once, but it was unreadable rubbish. What do you think? Of course, by picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. All right, Counts. Let's make amends. Time for Lorelei. Lorelei of the East. I'll make the arrangements. Very good. Do you forgive me now? Sorry for trying to kill your bees. Speaking of which, Your Highness, some good news from the March about the bee problem. The priests have been making up herbal ointments for treating stings. And they think they've discovered some new anti-venom that's even more effective. But we don't have enough to test it properly. Should the council aid the Marcher priests with their anti-venom research? 70% faith chance, man. That actually seems like a pretty decent idea. That's my choice. Not a lot of effect to be had here otherwise. I think the increase in faith would be for the Grandies, right? I think is the region that we're in for this one. Baer, we're relatives now. My vote is yours. That's good to see. Noted. There's a free little authority boost for Baer. The research looks in danger of fizzling out before the Archbishop swoops in to help. He delegates priests all across the March to test this new remedy. It even pays the barons to use their estates as hospitals. Some barons' wealth has increased. Ah, shit. The council eagerly awaits the results. Well, they passed the check again. Oh, that was the barons. So that would have been the barons' faiths, but again, it doesn't really matter that much. By the 9th, this is not to be borne. What are you talking about, multi-minded? Grandy multi-minded brandishes a crumpled hat. A hat! Oh, cheers, I think that's mine, says Muokami. This was left on the edge of my estate by a group of barons on holiday, along with a huge number of empty bottles of ale. They scattered picnic baskets everywhere, trampled by crops, and sat around a bonfire all night. My horses were terrified. Now I know the culprit was Baron Muokami and his dissolute idle friends. We're just enjoying our prosperity and taking a break. Those clear skies, that shining sun, what a nice change from the march. You should be flattered that we're so eager to visit. Flattered, God above! When the barons come to our lands, all they do is cause trouble and destruction. Should the barons continue their raucous holidays in the south? The holidays can continue, but the barons must pay the grandees a generous sum. I wouldn't mind that. Ooh. Can we decrease the trade for the barons here? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, we would lower stability in a couple different ways. That's no good. Encourage the barons to holiday in the east instead. That would probably increase their trade, wouldn't it? I'm gonna need to veto that one. No more holidays in the south. Actually, I wonder, would that decrease their trade? It probably would, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think it's logical that it would increase the grandees' trade and decrease the barons. I think. Not 100% sure, though. Guess we'll find out. I think it'll increase the baron trade. Baron Muokami storms out of the council hall and returns to the march in high dudgeon. Hold on, new word.
Dudgeon.
A feeling of offense or deep resentment. Hold on. Hold on, I'm adding that to my catalog. That one's going in the word list, dude. Dudgeon. A feeling of offense or deep resentment. That's a good one. All right, there we go. Instead of traveling to the southern territory, oh no, the barons remain on their lands, organizing huge banquets and week-long festivities. Ah, shit. Marcher merchants and caterers are delighted, but the people elsewhere start grumbling about the idleness of the nobility. It went up by 2? Jesus. I guess that's covered. Shit. Let's see. Ooh, swing votes is always fun. Yeah, we'll take that. Get rid of the monarch's vote this time. Okay. I'll start with the royal wedding. Your wedding to Lorelei is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife? Yeah, sure. Then I pronounce you king and wife. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast. And after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Lorelei, laps up the attention, delivering a witty speech in which she flatters you outrageously. Hooray! You danced so very beautifully. It was such a wonderful day, wasn't it? Agree with her. You endure a long conversation in which Lorelei seems determined to flatter you relentlessly and agree with everything you say. By night's end, you still don't know who Lorelei really is. Her real personality is concealed beneath 100 layers of etiquette. You go to your separate bedchambers with strangers. Or, sorry, still strangers. No, it's a very different sentence. Horror in the East. Count Adam IQ. Your Highness, a monster has been stalking my farms at night, smashing down the doors of cottages and feasting on the peasants inside. Sounds ghastly. Only a few have seen the beast and lived to tell the tale. The survivors tell a garbled story about gleaming fangs amid a mountain of blood-soaked fur. How should the council deal with the monster in the east? Well, kind of want to go for the small military chance, but it does seem like if that failed, that would be pretty rough. See how it goes. This is no concern of ours, I feel is... It's just rude. Exclamation point vote for A, B, or C. This one's open to all. Also, if you're just joining us, you can join in the game as well. Exclamation point join, followed by your pronouns if you'd like to participate. Oh, hold on. Stragglers? We have a chance with the iron choice? Not this time. All right. So be it. The bounty is placed. Hopefully some enterprising monster slayer will claim it soon. That was relatively uneventful. Your Highness, I'm pleased to announce we have discovered an effective anti-venom over in the March. Huzzah! Indeed, huzzah! The only thing is... Yes, the only thing is that unfortunately the barons are too focused on profit to understand how important it is for my hard-working priests to be recognized for their efforts. Look, we're as devout as anyone, but it was our peasants who went through hell to get us this remedy. You have no idea what going through hell means, but you will unless you change your ways. Who should profit from the anti-venom discoveries? The church? The barons? There's money to be made. Or this remedy should be available for free for everyone. That would decrease my authority, but increase my stability. Increase the defiance of the barons almost certainly. Sorry, barons. Sorry, barons. Look, I'll give you easy taxes next time, okay? I promise. I'll make it up to you. And I know ain't nobody voting for the damn church. Except this weirdo. I mean, this is a democratic solution, man. There we go. Many nobles are shocked at the council's decision. Some even criticize your judgment openly. But the archbishop praises your generosity to the people. The anti-venom proves effective on more than just bee stings. It can even treat snake bites. Marcher farming sees a boom as peasants work the fields without fear. Well, there you go, barons. Peasants across the land sing your praises. Some enterprising souls even draw portraits of you on horseback fighting an army of bees. I would like to see that. I would very much like to see that. These upstarts are saying they have a right to your throne. I'm gonna increase the count's faith somehow. I don't know how the heck we're gonna do that. Maybe this will do it. Baer, I had something I wanted to ask of you. What can I do for you? As you surely know, I run a very successful lumber company back home in the East. But the current laws are a little restrictive for my trade. Lots of tariffs and regulations, you know how it is. I was hoping you could push for some changes in the council. Eliminate some of the more cumbersome quality standards for Eastern lumber, perhaps. That's just straight up corruption. I wouldn't call it that. It's just a helping hand, that's all. Our peasants would surely thank you for it. I'll assemble the council, but only on the off chance that we can increase your faith via these means. No luck. Unsurprising. Should the quality standards on Eastern lumber be relaxed? Probably not. Oh boy, this is just... This might increase the defiance on both the barons and grandees. I guess I could get some money out of it. Try that. I believe that just the exclamation point join will work as well. Pawn just won't give them. I think it might default to they, actually, for the pronoun. But either way, it should work, even if you don't include the pronoun in there. Yeah, sometimes immediately after I make my iron choice, I begin to question how I thought that was really going to work. And sure enough, the kingdom's looking to relax quality standards for everybody. I see I've underestimated my enemies on the council. That's unfortunate. The relaxation of standards across all the kingdom has the result of lowering production costs and boosting the economies of all the regions. Unfortunately, it also leads to a lot of collapsed buildings and avoidable accidents. Well, there you go, barons. Holy shit. Your Majesty, the richest merchants in the March have bribed the barons to give them an exclusive charter. They now control all trade of copper and furs, the March's most valuable goods. It's a monopoly, Your Majesty. They're scamming the public by fixing prices, pushing smaller traders like myself out of business. Something must be done. Should the council help the small merchants of the March overcome the regional monopoly? Monopoly? That just sounds like good business. Well, we're going to be vetoing C. We at least get something. Some way to decrease that trade for the barons with option A. Stability, unfortunately, likely to go down as well. Demand that the treasury get a taste of the bribes? Oh no. Grandies? Grandies, why? You see the lowered stability up on A as well, right? Come on. Oh, jeez. You soon receive a generous anonymous donation from the address in one of the biggest companies in the March. In return, you allow them to keep their exclusive charter. Everybody wins, except everyone playing against the barons and the merchant who came to complain to the council. He's found dead in an alleyway. Probably a coincidence. Stargazing. This simply can't go on, Your Majesty. These archbothans think they know everything, but they know nothing of the Ninth God's wrath. Please, Your Majesty, we found a perfect site for an observatory high in the southern hills. But it's on Grandy Pra the Legend's lands, and they refuse to let us build there. Such things are heresy. The stars are just as big and close as the Ninth God intended. Who put you up to this idea, I bet it was one of those barons, like Custard Crew. Custard Crew catching strays up here, dude. Swing vote. Swing votes meaning that you're able to change your vote up until the very last moment, or even beyond that. This one's open to everybody. Should we construct the observatory, find a different site, forbid the construction of the observatory, or forbid construction and investigate the scholars' funding? I mean, I feel like we all just want to roll the dice, right? Yeah, it's far too tempting. Far too tempting to roll the dice, so let's do it. Construct it. Construction goes ahead despite Grandy Pra the Legend's misgivings, which are soon validated. A gang of local peasants emboldened by religious zeal storm the observatory and burn it down before it's even finished. Pra the Legend's inability to find the perpetrators is very convenient, but you can't prove anything. Rough. Auction time. Barons are sitting on some cash, dude. We can increase stability via the library, building A. Increase authority with building B, the monument. Decrease the Count's faith. Ooh. Oh, damn it. That's the opposite of what we wanted. Or what I wanted, anyway. Increase the Count's military with the stadium, building D. Increase the Grandy's farming with the aqueduct, building E. Or decrease stability with the prison, building F. Again, a reminder to fund using your personal wealth. Exclamation point fund, followed by a corresponding letter for the building you wish to support, and then followed by the amount that you wish to contribute. Baer should tax the barons. They're doing well enough, I think. I think they can spare a few extra coins. We'll see, though. A decrease in faith and stability. Unsurprising. Jeez, dude. Let's get down there. Defiance is too high. One or more regions is considering rebellion. What say you, barons?
A renewal. Welcome back.
Noibot! Thank you for the 74 months. Welcome back, and get him some bear hugs, please. Thank you very much for the support. About your heir. Your marriage to Lorelei is not what you'd hoped. She seldom sleeps in your bed, and over breakfast you exchange only a few frosty words before she departs to a board meeting. The last thing on your mind is procuring an heir, but the needs of the kingdom must prevail. Thank you. You've done well so far, but something's still missing, an heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard. I'm pretty sure I have a bastard child lying around here somewhere. Well, the church won't be happy, but they're just as keen to avoid a civil war as we are. They'll legitimize the bastard without much fuss. I'll meet with the Archbishop tomorrow. Good old bastard child. Your Majesty, I bring urgent news. The counts are deliberately eroding the power of the church in the east. But the counts have been so helpful lately. It must have been a ruse to give you a false sense of security. But what's more alarming is why they're doing this. The counts are planning to hollow your mind and summon a demon to fill the void and take possession. By the time they're finished, you'll be nothing but a shell. The demon will take over body and soul by the ninth god. My thoughts exactly, Your Majesty. We must bring this sacrilege to the council's attention. How can the king fight back against the count's horrifying plans? Like this. Spread the word about the dangers of demons. We must. We simply must. The count's got something to say about that, though. But with combined effort, the barons and grandees, I think we'll be all right. There it is. All across the kingdom, priests deliver impassioned sermons on the dangers of the seven gods' agents. More and more citizens flock to the church, and peasants place holy symbols in windows to protect their homes from demonic influence. But many nobles grumble about the church meddling in its official matters. Is King Baer in charge? Or the Inquisition? Your Highness, the barons of the March are attempting to amass a store of gunpowder. You know, the explosive black powder from Kurth? Gunpowder, where can I get some of that? Kurth is the only place that produces it in large quantities, Your Majesty. The Republic is very careful about controlling their supply, and unfortunately they're rabidly anti-monarchist. Aren't we all? The barons have established contracts with Kurth merchants, no doubt at great expense. Without the coin to purchase more powder, however, their plot will fail. Unfortunately, the barons' trade is booming. They're no doubt stockpiling massive amounts of gunpowder. You bring the revelations, which the barons wholeheartedly deny, to the council. Slap heavy tariffs on all imports to the March. Sorry, barons. You'll get some soon, Baer. Indeed. Oh, poor barons don't want to vote, huh? Oh, no, what happened? Did Baer get rid of your option? I'm sorry. Oh, shit, I woke them up. They realize they can still have an impact. Come on, stragglers. We can still do this, right? Vote A? Slap some heavy tariffs on them? No? All right. Kurth doesn't respond lightly to threats of sanctions. They're also not willing to jeopardize trade relations over some of their more enterprising merchants. The gunpowder import is slowed to a trickle, but it hasn't stopped. The Baron's stat goal will not be evaluated until the end of next season. Yeah, pretty unlikely we're able to get that trade down to 4 anyway, so... Oh, well. A count rides to a remote, unremarkable spot of moorland. Soon another joins him. The church is scrambling for power, says Kcal. The High Inquisitor is losing her grip on the populace. How delightful, says Smoky Bandit. And we can make our move unseen. We must invite a demon to possess the king. The ancient books describe 2 demons, each attracted to different aspects of a human mind. Which demon is best suited to possess the king and take his soul? Rakamasa, the mad tyrant, the cockroach queen. The goal being to raise authority. Or Murmuriak, Duke of Greed, the face of all coins. The goal to raise the treasury. Open only to the counts of the East. Yeah, I want to see the cockroach queen too, but so be it. Murmuriak it is. According to the grimoires I've read, the Duke of Greed is attracted to individuals who hoard wealth. We must ensure the king is filthy rich. I get to die rich, I guess, right? That's not the worst thing in the world. After all, you can take it with you. As the saying goes. Back in the south, Grandy Lich Queen Rising has met with their co-conspirators once again. Wine is being passed around in good measure, but there seems to be little cause for celebration. It's no good. The knaves are losing momentum. If we don't keep up the pressure, they'll go back to living their normal lives in peace. God, lazy good-for-nothings can't even get off their backsides for one measly revolt. We have to keep them unhappy. Don't allow the king time to stabilize. I'll murmur your yak. Wow, someone's looking to get some cruel taxes imposed on the barons. No, actually, what we need to do is lower my treasury. I don't want to give the barons all that money, though. Yeah, they're already wealthy, fuck it. Everybody gets money. Lowered defiance for all. Hooray! Monster Slayer. Your Majesty, you offered a bounty on the monster in the east. I could have collected it by now, but I wanted to speak to you first. Why? Last week, I hunted the beast down, found it feasting on the remnants of some unlucky peasant. Damn creature loped away before I could kill it, so I followed at a distance. The beast made its way back to a grand keep. Before my very eyes, I witnessed this bloodthirsty beast transform back into Count Beta Boy. Why should I believe you? I have no reason to lie. Fair point, man. You got me. You have no reason to lie about having no reason to lie either, right? It's some kind of skin shedder, no doubt. A nightmare beast that lives within Count Beta Boy's skin and comes out at night. They will have no memory of their crimes, I'm sure. Please, it's Beta Boy 64, the next generation console. My bad, yeah, that's misreading here. Removing the head would be a good start. I can do the deed for a small fee. I'll send a team of inquisitors to investigate these claims. Sure, yeah, we'll try that out. Yeah, very well, Your Majesty, whatever you say. I'm honored by your trust, Your Highness. Team of inquisitors are dispatched to investigate the claim that Count Beta Boy 64 sometimes turns into a monster. Hopefully they'll return intact. The counts, of course, register their disapproval that the church is meddling with their private affairs. They wanted the matter dealt with, but not like this. Well, you're gonna have to learn to deal with it, fellas. A plague of rats! Grandy Z. Bailey strides into the council chambers, distraught, waving a dead rat by its tail. The fields and barns of the south are overrun by vermin, and we've no more poison for these horrible things. We can't cope anymore. Can the council help resolve this southern rat plague? Send them a shipment of cats. God, please, yes, choose this. I have to see the progression. Let's old lady swallow to fly this shit. I know we want to roll the dice, but don't you want a bunch of cats in the south, too? That'd be fun. Yeah, that's pretty clearly the way to go. Cats everywhere. There we are. Grandy Z. Bailey bows to you deeply. I can't thank you enough, Your Holiness. You send a caravan of cats, catavan, over to the south. By the time they reach their destination, they're both hungry and very angry. The perfect rat-catching mindset. Soon the rats are gone, and most households in the south have a very satisfied cat guarding their food. You hope kittens don't become a problem. Sweet, that was easy. Your Majesty, it is my singular honor to invite you to attend the annual Night of the Seven Pyres celebration. Cool. I look forward to attending. Praise be. I trust you're willing to finance and organize one of the pyres. It's customary for the king to do so if he's in attendance. I mean, I don't know how good it's going to be for me to be actually out of money, but I suppose I'll find out. I look forward to it, Your Highness. Season complete. Somewhere in a dark cellar, a nervous baron is showing his guests a stupendous cache of explosive gunpowder. Behold, says Travis. Great God, says Madman. By my life, black gold dust. And what are those? Cannons, my good friend, cannons. And muskets, too, courtesy of the Republic of Kurth. They were very happy with our business. Now to decide what to do with all of it. Once we show our hand, there's no going back. How should the barons use the fabled black powder to take over the kingdom? Sneak the gunpowder under the palace and blow them all sky high. And put all these cannons and muskets to good use. A vote open to the barons of the March only. I think the monarch loses if money is 0. I think you might be right, yeah. I think we might have even done that before. I can't remember, though. Unsurprising. With these explosive weapons, we'll be unstoppable on the battlefield. But we need to make sure we have the troops to use them. Then we'll step up our recruitment so we're ready when the time comes. I'll get to it. For the final stage of their scheme, the barons must raise their military to at least 9. Oh boy. That's gonna be tough. By royal decree, we can tweak the laws. Let's see. Plus 600 treasury if the nobles vote for the selected option. I might need that, actually. I'll take off swing votes for now. Yeah, 9's definitely tough to reach, but y'all are pretty far ahead, so got a little bit of a cushion there. Bankruptcy looms. The treasury's almost empty, Your Highness. What do you suggest we do? Apart from raising taxes, we have precious few options. You could get a bank loan, or sell off the crown jewels, or perhaps crack open some of your predecessors' tombs. Most were buried with piles of gold, or so I heard. So we have just made more money in the past. Didn't exactly go according to plan. Let's see here. Sell off some of the royal jewelry to wealthier nobles? I don't know about that either. Take a hefty loan from Salventon Gall Bank. I'll try that. The Bank of Salventon Gall operates from the fabulously wealthy Republic of Kurth, all the way across the Western Sea. I assure you, however, that they maintain total independence from the Republic. The banker said to take your, banker they send to take your signature has delicate hands and sharp teeth. He watches as you put pen to paper, eyes glittering. You're making an excellent decision, Your Majesty. You shall pay us back with 25% interest in 1 year. Hang on, doing math. 3750? Okay, I can do that. Saddling the kingdom in debt isn't great optics, but you have no other choice. Hopefully. It's not long until the night of the 7 pyres. As you journey south, the sun beats down like a hammer. Grandy Rosie meets you at the gates to the city of Tullivine. Glad you can make it, Your Highness. Welcome to Tullivine. Beautiful place you have here. The whole city is excited to have you here, Your Majesty. The citizens cannot wait to see your pyre burn. You'll provide the surrounding entertainment and arrange the event's spectacular climax. But first, which of the deposed gods' effigies do you want to be responsible for burning? The Poison Eater? The Lord of Darkness? Sure. An excellent decision, Your Majesty. Traditionally, the seventh god's effigy is over 50 feet high and burned in the central square, usually attracting the biggest crowd. Now, what kind of entertainers will you be hiring to surround your pyre and impress spectators? Fire dancers. Obviously. A wonderful choice, Your Highness. The fire dancers of the south are famed throughout the kingdom. You'll need more than that to draw a crowd, however. Who else? Clowns. No, we could do fire breathers. Sure, that sounds fun. I don't know how they do it without burning their lips, Your Highness. Must be a technique to it. Anyone else? Yeah, do clowns too. I must admit, Your Majesty, the things horrify me, but it is your decision. With all those entertainers, your pyre will be quite the spectacle. Also the acrobats. Trapezing above the roaring flames, enough to make even a stone heart sing. But methinks your pyre might be a little crowded. How about some lion tamers, too? A spot of danger should keep the peasants interested. But such a horde of entertainers, they'll be tripping over each other's feet, surely. Trust me, I'd do more if I could. Your work is not yet done, Your Majesty. You must decide on the pyre's spectacular climax. Sometimes we go with fireworks, but those are expensive. The black powder must be sourced all the way from Kerr. Thankfully, I have a source in closer proximity. A less exciting alternative is to topple the effigy over like a falling tree. We will fill the effigy with an obscene amount of fireworks. Wonderful, Your Majesty. Your pyre will culminate in a stupendous fireworks display, unlike any the world has seen before. I'll make the arrangements at once. See that you do. Soon the night of the seven pyres is upon you. The streets of Tollevine are crammed with merrymakers. As the royal stagecoach makes its way to the town square, the citizens greet you with cheers and tossed roses. The effigy of the seventh god towers over the rooftops, a 50-foot demon with fearsome horns. As it bursts into flames, out come your fire dancers, acrobats, clowns, fire breathers, and lion tamers. The crowd is loving it, but your entertainers are packed far too closely together. Before your horrified eyes, a fire breather sets one of the lion's tails alight. Roaring in pain, the flaming lion leaps the barrier and launches into the crowd, ripping and tearing at the terrified common folk. Blood soaks the streets. Shrieking peasants stampede in all directions. And amidst this scene of violence and chaos, completely ignored, your effigy explodes into fireworks. Reach for your wine glass. In the end, only 3 people were killed by the lion, and dozens were crushed in the ensuing stampede. You slink off back to the capital, shamefaced, as the grandees bitterly call for you to apologize for ruining their holy night. Oops. Your Majesty, I've received word back from the Inquisitors you sent east to investigate the claims about Count Beta Boy 64 and their nocturnal activities. And we placed Count Beta Boy 64 in heavy iron chains and waited until nightfall. They transformed into a vicious monster. Black fur, claws like scythes. It broke free and killed a dozen Inquisitors before we subdued it. Boy, my body count is piling up today. It's clear that Count Beta Boy 64 was a devil worshipper cursed by the ninth god for their sins. We request permission to burn them alive in the town square. I should hold a vote. The ninth god is watching, Your Highness. Do not think you can defy his will. What should be done with Count Beta Boy 64, the monster in the east? Send soldiers to kill them in secret. Throw him into your dungeons. Order him to keep control of his just try your best, Beta Boy 64, to not turn into a horrifying monster every night. Or burn the beast alive in public. Good God. Let's see. Well, of course, the Grandies are looking to decrease stability. It would probably behoove me to attempt to gain some treasury here, but it's not seeming incredibly likely that I'll guess correctly. Yeah, let's try it. Probably that, right? We'll see. We'll see. Kind of a split decision, I think. Extremely split decision. Oh, man, it's close. The royal gamble indeed. Oh, no. Where are my saviors in chat? I'm willing to wait. Help? Help? No? So be it. Oh, God. Okay, here we go then. Vote tied. Oh, I get to choose. I suppose we're burning the beast alive. Nothing gets the peasants going like a good public burning. You hear reports that Count Beta Boy 64 transformed into a monster halfway through. The peasants' belief in the ninth god has been raised to new heights by such an impressive spectacle, while the counts are furious to have been humiliated so publicly. Reasonable. These upstarts are saying they have a right to your crown. On the verge of rebellion. Season complete. Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to my legitimized, natural-born child. Sure. The assembled nobles break out into polite applause. By designating an heir, you've cemented the stability of the kingdom. Though the common folk may lose some faith in the church, seeing their king's extramarital adventures being forgiven so easily. I think I'm all right with that. My liege, may I be first to congratulate you on legitimizing your child. Thanks, Alanir. What is their name? Not super creative, but I'll take it. I'm sure little Baer 2 will grow up to be a chip off the old block. I would certainly suspect so. Congrats on finding an heir. Now you just need to fulfill your ambition to win the game. Expect a visit from the Spy Master soon. Baer 2 Electric Boogaloo. Coxu the One. A rogue golem has crossed into our territory over the Ashmedian border, my liege. This could be an exciting opportunity. Electric Beargaloo, my bad. Yeah, that was pretty obvious, wasn't it? What's a golem? A machine in the shape of a man, usually sculpted from clay or stone. The Ashmedians use them for drudge work or warfare. What's so exciting about it? Please, my liege, this is our chance to figure out how this golem magic works. We could even turn it against Ashmead. Your Majesty, the barons would drown their own grandmothers to gain an advantage over Ashmead, or over the counts and grandees. Golems are an offense to the ninth god, and they're dangerous. We should destroy it before it gets out of control. What should be done with the rogue Ashmedian golem that has crossed over into the march? Oh boy. This is not good. I feel as though it is fairly likely that if I were to allow the barons to vote C, that trade would result in an increase in their military as well. So, counts and grandies, it's on you. We gotta work against the barons here. It's pretty clear that adding it to the Marcher army is not the result we want to see. I will happily take a gamble on option A instead. Use it as a source of labor. A capital idea. We'll hook it up to a mill, tell it to keep cranking a handle, and hey presto! Endless bread. At first all goes well. The golem works tirelessly, grinding flour day and night. But then... Terrible news, my liege. Poor Coxer the One was inspecting the new golem when it went mad. Completely mad. Seemed to think Coxer was a bag of flour. It picked him up, put him in the mill, and made bread out of him. Well, how's it taste? Then it went on a rampage, pulling up farmland and massacring peasants across the march. Our soldiers were able to destroy it eventually, but it killed many of them too. The damage is irreversible. Excellent. Baron Ace Sorcerer II. Your Majesty, merchants are visiting the march from as far afield as Valimir and Atesh. Our quarterly figures are stunning. Merchants. I agree, but they're a small price to pay for the prices they pay. True that. Your Highness, this marcher economist has an audacious idea for all this wealth. Call it an experiment. We'll give the peasants gold whether or not they're working. This will ensure a base level of comfort and security for all. Hell's bells, what are you saying? That we should hand out cash for nothing? With respect, how is that different from barons receiving fees from their serfs? It's completely different. Your Majesty, this lunacy cannot possibly be considered. Leave it to King of the Castle to suggest UBI, huh? Should the marcher peasants receive a regular income no matter what? Implement this new economic strategy in the march. Encourage merchants to visit other regions across the kingdom, too. Demand a one-time extra tax for the barons. They can afford it. I mean, you're not wrong. Host a financial summit in the capital to celebrate the barons' success. Tax them! Give me that baron money. Also, universal basic income. Critical to note that. When's the loan come due? He said it was in a year. So I'm kind of hoping, honestly, that we can just sort of skirt by that. That's for later, Baer. That's for Baer Pile V7 to worry about. It would be funny if you continued afterward and then, like, the debt collector shows up in the start of your next game. Demand a one-time extra tax from the barons. The barons furiously hand over the cash. They say it's bad form for the king to demand gold even when the barons flaunt their wealth so shamelessly. Now enraged. Ooh, the barons are getting pissed. Auction time. The fortress will increase the military of the barons. That's unfortunate. Decrease authority via the theater. Decrease the faith of the counts with the observatory. Decrease the military of the counts with the stadium. Increase the grandee's faith with the cathedral, or decrease overall stability with the prison. Uh-oh. Well, this isn't good. Time to put that personal wealth to use, y'all. Unfortunately for you, you can't take it with you. So if you're sitting on a pile of cash, now's probably the time. Although, to be honest, it doesn't really look like they need a lot of help, do they? Not a lot of other demands for funding. Yeah, these count buildings have not really been helping them out all that much, although I guess there's not really a lot of way to increase the treasury this way, is there? Alright, well, very easily, the prison and fortress will be constructed here in order to decrease stability and increase military, respectively. So be it. Your ambition is not looking great. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be a peacekeeper. But so far, you've not convinced anyone. The kingdom is still on the brink of chaos, Your Majesty. Well, that sucks. Your current ambition isn't working out for you. If you want to stop the nobles from overthrowing you, you need to pivot. Change your image. The other advisors have some ideas. We should crush these disloyal nobles. Smash their armies and force them to submit. Your Majesty, if you help us spread the zeal of the Ninth God, the Church will lend our full support. With the backing of the Church, the nobles won't dare move against you. Here's another idea. Declare war on the Ashmedian Empire. The nobles will forget their schemes. If you win. Don't listen to the rest of these fools. Have you heard of the Scepter of Sages? It's a lost artifact forged by Queen Alma the Wise. There's a legend that any king who recovers it will rule over a golden age. I think faith is the way to go. Get elevated by the church to the status of a living saint. I'll send word to my priests. Your priority is to raise your authority in the kingdom's overall faith as much as you can. And of course, there can't be open rebellion among the nobles. Don't mention that! Don't give them any damn ideas. Your Majesty, I have an idea. The best since lined parchment, I dare say. An expedition. Sure! Sounds churlish. Don't be so quick to judge, I implore you. The great unexplored and untamed wilderness far across the eastern sea awaits. You have a lot of wealth at the moment, Your Highness. It's just sitting around collecting dust. Why not make a sound investment and send explorers to Chur? Who knows what they might find? Treasure, rare materials, ancient history? A new disease? She's a bit too animated when she says the word disease. Sounds like a fine idea. Her eyes light up from behind her spectacles. Wonderful news. I shall make preparations immediately. Expect a brief on your desk very soon. Hordling attack. Your Highness, I'm ruined, says Wordsworth Mirth. Hordlings have occupied my vineyard and driven my staff away. I'll assemble the council. Well, why can't your fellow grandees help out? My plays have no interest to them. That's rude. So why should it be of interest to us? What should be done about the Hordling infestation at Grandee Wordsworth Mirth's vineyard? Burn the vineyard with the Hordlings inside. Strong-arm the other grandees into sending military help, or hire an adventurer from the guild to investigate. I can't afford that shit. What would they want to do? Strong-arm the other grandees into sending military help. That might be the way to go. We'll try that out. I was assuming a combined effort on the Barons and Counts part here. And sure enough. We've already murdered enough senselessly this session, right? I shouldn't speak so soon, I guess. With rebellion impending. When the Grandees grudgingly send in their token force, a slaughter ensues. The Hordlings put up a meager fight before scurrying into the hills. Peculiarly, the Grandees discovered that the Hordlings filled Grandee Wordsworth Mirth's wine cellar with spoons. So many that it's almost impossible to move down there. It'll take some time before the vineyard is back up to full production. But Grandee Wordsworth Mirth is grateful for the help. Yeah, the spoons are back. Back in the south, Grandee Lich Queen Rising is met with their co-conspirators once again. Wine is being passed around in good measure, and it seems spirits are high. We've done it, my good friends. The peasants are in an uproar. Riots are commonplace across the kingdom. I foresee no negative consequences of this. Other than for the king, of course.
Wonderful. I'm sure the king is already cowering in his palace. Who knew peasants could be so useful? Now then, only one step remains. I have two proposals for the plan ahead. One way or another, we will push the peasants to turn violent.
Shall they devalue the kingdom's currency and force the peasants into poverty? Or manufacture a food crisis and force the peasants into starvation? Man, the Grandees really drew the short straw with these last couple objectives, huh? It's gonna be tough either way. But the Grandees only. Looks like they're gonna lower the farming. Diabolical! Why, you might even call it evil. It's for their own good when you think about it. Everyone will be better off with Carmen at the throne. With this final push, we will ensure the king soon has more than just a few angry peasants on his hands. Yes, and once the fighting starts, I'll be right there, ready to step in and negotiate. Lower all regions combined farming to 15 or less, currently sitting at 18 total. Rebellion impending. Well, I can't really afford to piss anybody else off, so I suppose we'll just keep things as is. Confirm the tax. Off we go. Rebellion! At long last, the barons have reached their boiling point. You're confronted in your throne room by Baron Greenathy, his boots stomping mud all over your nice carpet. The barons of the March are sick of your lies and tyranny. We'll give you soft city-dwelling bastards a proper kicking. We'll be fighting for Leopold, the true king. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other, we'll be on the battlefield. One day I'll see your head on a spike. There'll be many heads on spikes before this war is over. Mine will not be among them. Baron Greenathy strides from your throne room without looking back. I didn't expect them to move so boldly, Your Majesty. What are our chances against the rebels? I hope they don't persuade any other regions to join their rebellion. Yeah, it'd sure be bad to mention that, right? Is this civil war? That's right, Your Majesty. The kingdom's divided. There'll be a lot of death and suffering before this is all over. I can't wait! Oh, that musical shift. The opening strike. The time has come. This kingdom has grown soft under the weak and ineffectual rule of King Baer. As usual, it's up to the barons to fix things with violence. Too right. Let's march to the capital and kick some heads in. All in good time. But we're the barons of the March. Let's live up to that reputation, eh? Let's be clever. But I want to kick heads! Oh, there'll be plenty of that. But first, let's think carefully about where to strike first. We can launch a preemptive strike against the Counts to cripple their military capabilities. If we suspect the Counts may join our cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the king's authority is low. We could also call upon the church to condemn the king. Or finally, you could send off an assassin to nip this in the bud. Open to the barons only. What should be their opening move in the rebellion? You just gonna get me killed straight up? You do have a lot of personal wealth after all. Wait, is that like a guaranteed result? There's no percentage chance associated with it. It's just, hey, if you got the money. I've got the means. I guess we'll find out. Thank you for meeting with me at such short notice. The sum you offered piqued my interest. You understand why the sum is so high, though? It's really not. You want me to assassinate the king? It's no trouble. I am a child of the Viper. If you have the gold and you want a man dead, he is dead. Get it done. Oh, that stinks. Let's just waste all our money. Due to the ongoing rebellion, the planned expedition to Chur has been canceled, much to the treasurer's despair. There are far more important matters to attend to. So why'd you put it up, then? Ah, Jesus. Here, let's go for some stability, I guess. Take away the veto. There we go. This ain't looking too great. Something's wrong. Oh, you think so? It's an evening like any other. You're sitting for dinner, your servants heaping your table with dishes fit for a king. Goose tongue pie, roast boar, jellied pigeon. As usual, your wife is at the very opposite end of the grand table, as far away from you as possible. You'd have to shout to talk, but there's no conversation anyway. And, of course, your wine glass is never empty. Before you can drink, one of your southern battle nuns snatches the glass from your hand. Of course, each time your drink is refreshed, your honor guard takes the first sip in case of poison. It's highly annoying. For the first time you can remember, a battle nun breaks her vow of silence. Her voice creaks from her throat like a cemetery gate swinging shut. Poison. Before your astonished eyes, the honor guard who sipped your drink turns a distressing shade of purple. Visible beneath her steel mask, apparently. Then her eyes begin bugging out like an excited pug. Stop doing that. Ignoring you entirely, she starts swelling. swelling and swelling and swelling until pop! She explodes! Showering all the other honor guards, not to mention a few of your servants, with a foul-smelling purple liquid. Fortunately for your laundry staff, none of it splashes onto you. Well, I say, dinner and a show. As you speak, your voice dies in your throat. One by one, the rest of your slime-soaked honor guards are turning purple. Run for it! You turn tail and flee the dining hall, leaving your wife to her fate. Behind you, there's a series of grotesque pops as your honor guards and servants explode one by one until there's nobody left. Fortunately, Lorelei finds her own way out, but she's not exactly pleased that you abandon her. A few hours later, you go over the horrific events at dinner with your spy master. I got an achievement for that. Your Majesty, that must have been terribly disturbing. Yeah, I think I need a drink. You still want wine after that? I suppose I can't fault your constitution. It was a very rare kind of contagious poison known as Anwick's Cascader. It causes the drinker to explode, and whoever is touched by the remains also explodes. As you can imagine, the results can be catastrophic. We were lucky that only your honor guards and a few servants died. Who did this? One of the children of the Viper, the most feared assassins in the kingdom. No doubt hired by your enemies in the march. Anwick's Cascader is one of their specialties, intended for causing maximum chaos. We're still not sure how they accessed the wine cellar, but as a precaution, we're pouring away the rest of your stock. No! Even the very best vintages. The gutters will flow red and white tonight. Not my wine. I need some time and wine to process this. The barons will stop at nothing, even murder, to bring you down. Thank the honor guard, may they rest in peace. Let's go with a great battle. Vast armies darken the landscape like the shadows of clouds. Flags are flying. Drums are pounding in rhythm with the marching of boots. The kingdom is gripped with civil war. Yeah, at least that's what you imagine. Most of your time is spent in the safety of your palace, poring over a giant map with your marshal. Your Majesty, the army of the march is advancing on the capital, led by that treacherous cur, Baron Pufferfish Slayer. What a weirdly appropriate name. I've received word from the commander of our loyalist forces in the south. If they march now, they will intercept the barons in a matter of days. Alternatively, they can join forces with the army of the east. It's risky, but together they have a higher chance of defeating the accursed barons. What are your orders, Your Majesty? They should join forces. I'll relay your orders to Grandy Valden, the commander in the field. Hopefully they do as they're told. God knows treachery can thrive on the battlefield. You gonna put your 10-year subscription up against this, Valden? Can I not, if I can't trust you among the bear pile, who can I trust? What's it gonna be, Grandies? Defy orders and send the Southern Army to fight the rebels. Follow orders and link up with the counts, or hang back and let the rebels march on the capital without challenge. We might not have killed you, but we threw away your wine. We have the true moral victory, indeed. I don't know how I'll ever recover. The whole city holds its breath. You stew in your palace, waiting for your marshal's return. Finally, she arrives at your throne room, looking perfectly composed. Your Majesty, as you ordered, the Grandies have turned their army around to link up with the counts. I can only hope this was the right decision. Too late for doubts now. It all comes down to the next battle. If we do lose this, there are worse fates than the swift head chopping. Yeah, you could swell up like a balloon until you pop. Over the next few weeks, it becomes clear that the Southern Army's retreat has given the barons free rein to pillage and plunder the South. The rampaging marcher troops descend on farms like locusts. Oh, well, conveniently for the Grandies, that's pretty helpful for them. Meanwhile, shops, churches, and manors are plundered, and the stolen loot shipped back to the march. And barons are even wealthier. But while the South suffers, the Southern forces successfully link up with the counts. Now the joint army of the Grandies and the counts rush to meet the barons in open warfare, and the winner will either end your reign or preserve it. Your Holiness, the Hordlings, they've returned! The soldiers we sent only got rid of them temporarily. They've taken over my vineyard again! Those little bastards are impossible to kill. Never mind that, Your Highness must act quickly to alleviate the spoon shortage in the south. Spoons are disappearing all across the region. I'm sorry, spoons? It's no laughing matter. Have you ever tried to eat soup with a fork? It's simply to hold the bowl to your mouth. God, all right. What can be done about the missing spoons in the south and the hordling attack on Wordsworth Mirth's vineyard secondarily? I don't know what the Barons are going to go for. Not the Barons, the Grandies, rather. Oh, God. Need to get some authority back, man, so... I'll go for that. You know where our priorities lie, Wordsworth. Gotta get them damn spoons back. This is my #1 priority. This trumps all other concerns. Get them missing spoons back. A little authority back on my side. Ah, boy, that is the farming criteria met, though. Peasants are conscripted from farms for the spoon hunt. Priests begin praying for a solution in chapels across the south. The city watch takes double nightly shifts to look out for the elusive cutlery thieves. All right, then. Yeah, I think I did just kill myself, didn't I? Oh, well. The situation is becoming untenable, Your Majesty. Even if we're able to win this civil war, something else is looming. Who is it this time? It's the peasants! They aren't merely trying to overthrow you, they're calling for the destruction of the monarchy itself and the proclamation of a new People's Republic in its place. They're led by a former shipbuilder, as I understand it. A woman named Layla. So kill her! Would only serve to anger the people further. And even if I did, another would take her place. This is not merely a conspiracy, it's a movement. Kill her family, then. Can't you do anything? Kidnap her dog? I could do that, though I'm not sure if you really want to be known as King Baer the Dog Napper. Don't tell me what I want to be. Kidnap that woman's dog. Your advisors share a meaningful glance. It will be done, Your Majesty. Your advisors mill out of the throne room, leaving you to brood for many hours. Your estranged wife is nowhere to be seen. Days pass in a blur. The rumbles of discontent spread like tremors across the capital. Even from inside the walls of your palace, the earth seems to shake with the power of promised change. Time drags on like a hot rake until the spy master enters the throne room with a small cage in her hands. As you requested. Oh, ninth above, what have I done? You asked me to kidnap a woman's dog, Your Majesty. Regardless, this will be the last job I carry out for you. Don't say that, I'm sure we still have a chance. You don't, but that's beside the point. I'm quite all right with murder in the right circumstances, but this is rather beyond the pale. You were a petty tyrant clinging to power with the last gasp of your strength. Enjoy it while it lasts. She leaves the whimpering caged Shih Tzu on the table, then departs. Your other advisors look nervously at each other. This was a silly idea. Don't give up, Your Majesty. Give me 20 good soldiers in a few days. I'll root this conspiracy out for you, spy master or no spy master. Do it. Gladly. More days pass. Precious time trickles away. You feel the walls of your palace closing in. When the marshal finally returns to meet you, it's on a gurney just inside the front gates. She's lifeless. The red of her cape mixes with bloodstains splattered across her chest plate. Not all of it is hers, at least. Your Majesty, look! As your eyes flit away from the dead woman, you see them. A mob of peasants. No, an army. Armed not only with pitchforks, but swords, spears, and clad in patchwork armor from all over the regions. They're amassing outside the gates. This is no mere riot, but an insurrection. Wait, let me talk to them! You stagger to your feet and rush toward the crowd, your arms outstretched. There he is! Get him! You wade forward despite the muffled protests of the marshal. If you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. For a moment, the peasants recoil. Can he really do that? I don't want him to come back and haunt us. It's a lie, you fools. He's just a human like the rest of us. Someone flings a vegetable at you. No, wait, that was a rock. You're so used to vegetables flying at you, you barely even ducked. Ouch. The marshals try to push through the crowd to reach you, but a dozen spearheads bring her to the ground. The mob closes in. Kill the dog thief! No justice for animal abusers. I mean, I'm kind of with them, to be honest. Curl up in the fetal position. You brace, waiting for a well-timed fist, hammer, or spear to end your life. Wait! We can't kill him yet. He needs a trial. A public one at that. You suddenly exhale. You're still alive. For now. You're hauled away to the dungeons to await this trial, which will, of course, be a sham. After all, who's going to act as the judge? It's usually your job. You soon lose track of time down here in the gloom. You're not sure if it's days or weeks, but eventually the date of your trial arrives. And you're hauled back above ground to face the sunlight and the roaring crowds. Even Baron Pufferfish Slayer and the other rebels are here to watch. You're almost flattered. King Baer Pile V6. You stand accused of tyranny, high treason, extrajudicial murder, and most importantly, politically motivated Shih Tzu thievery. I definitely didn't do that third one. I plead guilty. The crowd cheers. This is probably the happiest you've ever made them. So be it. Your sentence is death. The method of execution is hanging. Oh. You're frog-marched over to the gallows without delay. After all, what did all these people turn out for, if not a public execution? As the noose is tied around your neck, you notice something. It's Carmen, up on the platform with Layla and the other leaders of the uprising. Whatever you do, don't listen to that one in yellow. Nonsense. Carmen may be a noble, but they're a true revolutionary hero. None of this would have been possible without them. Hurry this up, Layla. I'm tired of listening to this obsolete pig dog trying to undermine our glorious revolution. Okay, Carl. The platform drops, the crowd roars, and your life comes to a sorry end. Glory to the revolution! King Baer's downfall became a cautionary tale for rulers everywhere in the years to come. Common folk across Celeste were suddenly emboldened by a power they didn't know they had. Shortly after King Baer's reign ended, the Inquisitors raided Count Keikal's castle and placed him under arrest for evil magic. As he burned, he screamed the secret name of the seventh god. The barons, led by Pufferfish Slayer, launched a rebellion that accomplished nothing, besides distracting the king while cunning schemers took the throne. Shortly after Layla was proclaimed regent, she was quietly assassinated. Carmen, a long-term supporter of the revolutionaries, was the obvious choice to succeed her. The common folk didn't realize their mistake until the monarchy was unexpectedly restored, with Grandee Carmen at its head. King Baer Hound Thief. Oh, god damn it. I agree. Of all I did, that is certainly, unfortunately, the most noteworthy. Wealthiest noble, madman. The 84th? I always forget. The Pony of Shadow, the poorest noble. And the kingdom left once more in complete disarray. What else is new? All right, that was fun.